Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to our workshop. This is day 4. This is workshop for the power of gender in digital marketing and women's economic empowering new media digital upskilling. We do, again, this is workshop. This is day 4. Now, to start off day 4, we have a wonderful topic to discuss about. This is how to become an internet marketing expert with gender perspective. And now, as the MC, Andy would like to take some time to introduce our presenter. Now, our presenter, he is from WEDU. This is a corporation that falls under the Winston Group, responsible for education for all in the digital arena. Now, Mr. Hubert Yang has been engaged in information expertise training for more than 20 years, but I promise he still looks very young, okay? He's involved in software development, cloud technology, digital marketing, and other technical fields as well. And now currently, Mr. Hubert Yang, he's responsible for managing a wide range of workplace empowerment training program on the platform called TibaMe. Now, TibaMe belongs to WEDU. And TibaMe in Chinese is 提拔me. That means promote me. But to promote you, we have to have training for you first. So this is a wonderful platform, a wonderful brand. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to give the floor now to Mr. Hubert Yang. All yours.
OK， 好，我就开。
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to today's workshop. In the next few minutes, I would like to share with you how we develop digital marketing skills for the participants in this workshop. During my presentation, I will talk about how we have, through the workshop, enhanced the participants' competency in the following fields. For example, search engine optimization. In addition to many other fields, I believe I have listed a number of must-learn online marketing skills. For example, social marketing, search engine optimization, the creation of friendly landing page, the presentation of your web pages and products, how to optimize the ranking of your products and services through SEO. In addition, we have also provided training in social marketing. Through this course, we have trained our participants to focus on online marketing, Facebook, and other social media marketing methods, how to increase your exposure and visibility on these platforms through interface design, through ad purchase, and interactive content design, to name a few. In the process, you might need to buy media, buy advertisements. So we also talk to our participants about Google ads, Facebook ads, to name a few. Among these issues, what can also be quite important is Google, Facebook certification. These are important skills that the marketing personnel in the market could benefit from. So we talked about social marketing, media buy, search engine optimization. After we have laid down the foundation, the participants took a step further to learn about web traffic analysis, the various analytics that cover the entirety of the visitor's journey. For example, from putting the product in the shopping cart to making the decision how to optimize the entire process using Google tools, how to use web traffic analytics to optimize your design of the consumer journey. For example, if in the future you wish to enrich your resume, you may want to obtain Facebook or Google certification. This will help you to increase your employability. We also talked to the participants about landing page optimization. This is a great opportunity for any online e-commerce operators to use articles, posts, keywords to optimize the content of the landing page so that once the visitors land on your portal, they will be able to find the information needed for them to be converted and be making that purchasing decision. The user interface as well as the user experience design today are of paramount importance. They are important elements in the customer's journey. So many people are attaching great importance to the design of the two elements. Of course, there are many aspects regarding them that can be explored. And this is often done in addition to affiliate marketing, meaning key opinion leader marketing, celebrity endorser, influencer, endorsement marketing, to name a few. They could share the profits. They could have different deals to collaboratively market the products to enhance the effectiveness of the overall marketing campaign. And we also talk to our participants about remarketing. Remarketing means to market your products again and again in a repetitive manner to those potential customers who have expressed interest in your products, yet they have not made the purchase. EDM optimization has been around for over 1 decade. Therefore, it is still a very hot topic today. For example, it could be used as a very comprehensive marketing tool. In my company, we have over 200,000 members. Not all of them are using Facebook. Not all of them are communicating with us through the Line app. Therefore, we can use email. For example, we often use email as a method to communicate more in-depth information to our massive audience. So in terms of the content design, the title design, especially the entire presentation, the emails, these can all be optimized. And last aspect will be the dashboard and data visualization. These are very important coordination points in terms of digital marketing management. These are also the very important foundation for successful digital marketing campaigns. So we have talked about the different elements of our workshop training content. They lay down the cornerstone for successful marketing campaigns. The topic of our workshop is, in fact, gender awareness-oriented marketing skills. This means that in every little step, in every coordination point of your marketing campaigns, you will have to be genderly aware. You have to make efforts to promote gender equality and be able to incorporate gender perspectives. So the ability to promote and advocate for gender equality in the various marketing campaign is of paramount importance for our participants. Therefore, here I would like to show you the learning map for our workshop. For example, we focus on those participants who already have initial or years of experience with online marketing. And our workshop is then further divided into 3 parts: online marketing analysis, strategic planning, as well as outcome analysis, a total of 3 different courses or elements, if you will. I am here showing you a learning map of our training package. First, we look at market analysis, which is the element shown on the upper right-hand side of the slide. We understand that incorporating a gender equality perspective is quite important. Therefore, we have to enable our participants to carry out market analysis with such gender perspectives and develop market positioning with innovative gender principles. So in terms of marketing analysis, you will also need to have a general understanding of legal compliance in different regions and territories in which you operate. You will also need to be aware of the organization, market analysis, market intelligence. You have to have gender awareness, gender equality principles awareness. We also use case studies to illustrate the important points and principles of such marketing skills. And then we look at market analysis in terms of value proposition, product swap analysis, a competitor analysis, and develop and research new types of target audience and customers. These are all the very important elements that fall under the 6 hours of courses focusing on online marketing market analysis. So this would be the major content, the main content of the market analysis, which is the first element. So the ultimate purpose is to incorporate gender perspectives and gender equality advocacy in everything that we do in online marketing. The second point is strategic planning. This includes whether you have the ability to examine the inclusion of gender awareness marketing strategic planning, whether you're able to develop marketing strategies and be generally aware at the same time. So you would need to be able to budget and plan strategically. You would need to break away from the gender stereotypes and incorporated gender empowerment perspectives in the course, and you need to be as inclusive as possible. Breakout group discussions, gender inclusion, innovative ideas are all elements of this very important strategic planning aspect. You will also need to look into case studies, marketing, online marketing tools, and the general guidelines regarding these aspects. So this also is a course that spans across a period of 6 hours, and it is carried out over a period of 2 days. In terms of instructional method, we use a lot of case studies. We give our participants a lot of design homework, and we also have incorporated breakout groups so that people could have interactive sessions to talk about online marketing strategies. To name a few, we also focus strategically on the effectiveness of their learning outcome. So they'll have to complete their assignment, make presentations, in addition to receiving instructions from the instructors. And that leads us to the third element, which is online marketing outcome analysis. So this is the last portion of our workshop, the last step of the learning map, if you will. It is a total of 24 hours, and it incorporates the following important points. For example, evaluation indicators and how to define indicators, how to set evaluation criteria, how to implement and use marketing strategies, how to incorporate, how to evaluate the effectiveness of your genderly aware marketing campaigns. So at this point, we focus on Practicum. So in the first and second sections of the learning maps, the students were already given the opportunity to make presentations. And in the third section of the learning map, on the very last day of this section, there were group discussions, and students were asked to go on stage and make presentations about their own learning journey. So in terms of marketing outcome, we would also look at Google Analytics, organizational planning. For example, Google Analytics is called GA. And we also look at the different matrix, and we look at gender perspective data analysis, gender meaning case studies, discussions, and outcome presentation, to name a few. In the process, many adjustments were being made as students become more aware of gender issues and perspectives. They would then come up with ideas to how to better adjust and optimize the content of their marketing campaigns. We also talk about qualitative and statistical studies and analysis of the outcome of the marketing outcome. For example, we also conduct text analysis and also look into gender awareness indicators, case studies. And in terms of Google spreadsheets and the use and applications and the advanced applications of other tools, students also had the opportunity to learn about these very important elements. For example, Google certifications is a very important skill today, and it is currently the certification process is free of charge. So we actively encouraged our participants in the workshop to gain this certification. We encourage encourage them to enhance their own skill sets by obtaining certifications such as the Google certification. On the last day of this workshop, meaning the last step in this learning map, the students gained the confidence and the ability to go on stage, make their own presentation. Consultants and the teachers would then ask questions. It's in the manner of a thesis defense. So on the last day, all the participants were given this opportunity to present their own learning outcome in terms of marketing analysis, strategic planning, and marketing outcome analysis, to name a few. So in this learning map, these are all transferable skills that they can take with them into the labor market, because we do believe that learning does not just end in the classroom. Once they are able to transfer these soft skills they have learned during this workshop, they are able to apply and put them into practice in the workplace, enabling them to enhance their employability and prove their worth to their supervisors. So this workshop aims to allow and enable the students to base their future learning and develop their personal learning journey based on their own personal experience in marketing. And with these new skills that they have picked up along the way of the learning map, they further enhance their own skill sets in many aspects. I personally, as the designer of this learning map, am taking great pride in the design of this curriculum, because during the process, we had the opportunity to work with many excellent instructors, consultants, experts, people who are genderly aware, people who are part of the gender equality movement. Therefore, we believe that in the future, we will base our future efforts on this pilot execution of the online marketing gender power training package. So we would like to ask you to please kindly offer us your feedback and criticism. I would like to mention that this is a one of its kind, never before seen program here in Taiwan. It has set a precedent for this sort of online training workshops here in Taiwan. So in the future, we will continue our efforts in this general direction, and we hope that we have laid down a general and solid foundation for further development of courses, workshops in this field. And under the framework of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, we hope that we will be able to continue to accept input from all of you, the experts in this field, and continue to train participants to enhance their new media, digital marketing skills. Looking into the future, over the next years, we hope that we will continue our efforts in organizing this series of workshops and be able to train more.
Thank you very much to Mr. Hubert Yang. Wonderful presentation. This is a wonderful workshop, a wonderful training program. And as Hubert also mentioned, this is in cooperation with the Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion and Development. Now, speaking of this foundation, this is a very important foundation for gender equality here in Taiwan. This foundation, the Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion and Development, it is a very important bridge between the government and the civil society, private sector that is, in Taiwan, promoting women's rights and the development of women's rights. So, speaking of this foundation, I would now like to introduce the Vice President of this foundation, because she is here with us today. She will be our moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Madame Huang Lingxiang, Sunny Huang, the Vice President from the Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion and Development. Sunny.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Herb, for sharing the learning map of the WEDU project package and highlight the insight about how to become an internet marketing expert with gender perspectives. But we are always welcome more gentlemen join and be the partner in the gender area. But in this next session, we will invite participants of the WEDU project to share what they have learned from the training courses and how it had helped them in the workplace. And we are very glad to have three of the participants join us today. First, I want to introduce the Xiao Yuzi. She is a project assistant, National National Zhongxin University. And the second is Zhang Ying Li. She's the chairman of the Feiyan Development Association. And also we have the Dr. Wu Yunxian. She's the Minxin University of Science and Technology. Okay, so now we want to invite Yuzi to share his experiences with us. Yuzi.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Yuzi. Oh, okay. Thank you.
大家好，我是小
Hi, I'm Yuzi Xiao. I'm one of the attendees of the training program. I would like to share with you my experience and my learnings. As mentioned, we learned about SEO, about Google Analytics, and about digital marketing. So in the following, I would like to share with you some understanding that I've gained. For many young women, like women in their 20s, or women who have just graduated from school, or women in their 30s who are starting to have family obligation, for all these different group of women, I would like to ask you, what are our imagination? What are our expectation in our careers? In the different stages in life, women play different roles and we have different expectation at different stages. So here, I would like to share with you my thoughts. In this slide, I would also like to bring up the topic of part-time jobs or slash jobs for women. For many women, they start working in their 20s, but when they start to take on different roles like becoming mothers, they might have different needs. They do homework, housework, they have home caring responsibilities. So many of them attempt to change jobs. Many women would like to strike a balance between family work and also professional work. So here I would like to raise the question of whether more women, they can continue to train and develop themselves emotionally and mentally. There's this very popular drama in Taiwan that broke a lot of these stereotypes that we have. It's called The Shrewd Wife. It's a drama in 2010. So for me, in taking part in this training, I feel like I have been able to gain more understanding in how I can advance along the different stages of my career. I've taken part in this basic training. Starting from tomorrow, we have an advanced level course. We hope to be able to better put our learnings and knowledge into practice. We also hope to better incorporate more gender awareness, and we want to work closer with private companies to match the different talent and to know how we can make the entire transition smoother. Thank you, Yuzi. So we hope in the future we will have more opportunities to transform the theories and knowledge into practice and to even collect many of these best practices. Hi. So for most of the courses on digital marketing, we will think about marketing for products. But this course is very unique. The topic, the theme of the course touches upon the power of gender. So this is very attractive to me. I then learned that for the advanced course, we need to take pretest. So I was quite nervous and I was really hesitant about whether to attend the advanced level courses or not. In this course, there's a survey conducted that caught my attention. So people's understanding of gender awareness. One of the questions, it talks about how 89% of those surveyed believe that both women and men are suitable in taking on executive level questions. 89% of all those surveyed. This survey result shows the rise of women's power in the professional workplace. That's a survey in 2020, and I'm sure that the number will continue to rise. We will see more and more female executives in all areas. There's also another survey point. For those who get to decide family matters, 88% of those surveyed believe that both women and men have equal decision power. There's another survey result. Some people think that women should do more housework than men. There's also another question. When there's an economic downturn and there's layoff, women should be laid off first than men. These two survey questions are rather intriguing. Men are more suitable to be bus driver and women are less suitable in learning technologies. These indicate the many stereotypes, although these stereotypes are also changing. About the house chore part, I think if we can incorporate many of these observations in professional area, this might be able to inspire new product design. For example, new product design that cuts the hours for both women and men to do house chores, or certain product design that allows family members to enjoy family chores together. Over time, we should emphasize on the concept that all of the family members should together contribute to the works at home. In today's age, there are many families of dual salary. So it's important to look at housework division from a completely different perspective. For example, family members can select a day when all the family members cook together, clean their homes together. It is one way to cultivate and to bring family members closer together. And this is how we can break the many gender stereotypes. In addition, regarding the laid off question, how come more people think that women should first be laid off in economic downturn? Here, let me make the statement. During the pandemic, when face masks were limited, we saw that many women in communities were making cloth masks by themselves. This shows that women are very important members of productivity of the economy. We shouldn't make the decision of layoff simply based on gender. We should come up with solid solutions in face of these different problems, not simply making decisions based on gender. And this is something that I would like to clearly make, and also make sure that everybody understands this. So gender equality, gender awareness, these are very important aspects of a society's development. It is also important that we gain sensitivity in gender equality as well as sensitivity in many of these digital trends. I've also taken a note on a micro enterprise. For many micro enterprise, if they don't have enough talent, we will have to play all the different roles, like trying to manage the online social media community. And I learned from the course that we need to be aware of these works. For example, if we are not
careful, if we're not cautious enough, we share some of the photos or content, but those might be pirated content, and that will have legal implications. So I took down my notes in the class that while we learn about all these digital tools, we also need to be aware of piracy issues. We need to be aware of many of these copyright issues. I'm also very interested in the topic of middle and elderly worker topic discussed in the course. We observe whether there's an increasing number of middle and senior age women, especially in digital marketing area. Digital marketing and leveraging the power of technology could be a very important tool for women, especially for middle and elderly women to start up their own micro enterprise. There are entry barriers, but we can think of solutions to break those barriers. For example, recently I observed that there are these grandmas, they cook at home and they become influencer by sharing their traditional dishes. Sometimes it is their children or their grandchildren who want to help their grandmas gain popularity online. I get to learn a lot from these programs by these grandma influencers. There are also business profit models generated from these grandma-led influencer models. For many of these elderly influencers, they might not be familiar with these digital skills, but with the help of others, they are also becoming active in new media. Finally, I have a message for all the women in small and micro enterprise. Many of us are deeply impacted by the pandemic. Many businesses are transforming. Digital transformation is a must for all. So we must continue to learn these tools. For many of us as micro enterprise owners, even though we are very small in scale, we can continue to learn new knowledge and skills. And when we find difficulties, we can think of ways to work with others. Micro enterprise also must be competitive to survive in the market. And this concludes my sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Ingli. We can really tell that you are a very experienced leader in developing women's professional career. You also talked about the many data points about how there still exist these stereotypes in our society and even many of these hidden biases. According to many statistics and reports, we also see that many women, especially during the pandemic, they work in many of these atypical jobs and they are therefore even more impacted or laid off. So our speaker, Ying Li, you talked about digital literacy. You talked about how the middle-aged and the elderly workers are able to gain more skills by collaborating with others. Through these strategic partnership and collaboration, we can bridge the many digital divides. So I would like to thank Ying Li for your sharing. Next, I would like to invite Professor Yun Xian. I'd like to thank the organizer for giving me this platform to share. So the first question by the organizer is what are some surprising observations that I've gained in this two-day course? The two-day course is focused on gender and digital marketing. So this is not an easy question for me, and I'm also here to look for further answers. I thought about this question, and I realized or I identified that there are three interesting questions. The first is bias, the second is discrimination, and the third theme is gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. For bias and for stereotypes, this not only occurs in marketing, in other areas of the society, in media, in our everyday life, we might encounter different types of stereotypes and biases. For example, when we watch the news and we see certain scenarios, we will probably make interpretations based on our stereotypes about people who are different than us. In addition, recently the legislator Gao, who faced sexual violence, she also faced a lot of gender biases and discrimination. People criticize certain photos of her, saying that the photos are actually many of these photos have already violated the privacy of legislator Gao. So it's not merely that the photos are not suitable to be made public, but in essence, these photos have violated the privacy of individuals. So when we talk about biases, discrimination, or equality, these issues not only occur or exist in the discussion of digital marketing, but also in different areas of the society. We also learned from one of the lecturers' talk, Lin Hongwei. He talked about marketing, about sales, about one common concept is to bring the products to the hands of the consumers. When I was in school, I learned that sales means that you are purchasing things that you don't need. But for marketing products, you are giving people things that they need. So it comes back to the needs of consumers. The concept of marketing is really looking into the needs of the consumers. Another lecturer shared an example of the marketing of video cameras. In this example, the marketing professional gathered all kinds of needs online. In collecting those opinions, the marketing professional was then able to redesign and fine-tune the product. When we look at many female consumers, or when we look at the credit card usage of women, we see that many women consumers are more active than their male counterparts. In most areas, in all the daily necessities in education and entertainment, women are the main consumers. So, having this in mind, when we are developing digital marketing strategies, are we truly reflecting the needs of women? Are we crafting marketing strategies that reflect gender equality? In Carefor's marketing campaign, I'm very glad to see that the marketing campaigns are very gender sensitive. You look at the ad, I am somebody with strong gender awareness. In the campaign, it said that you have to be yourself. You don't have to pay attention to those gossips and criticism. And then you look at the ad. You look at the entire ad. We have these new learnings about gender awareness. And I really enjoy that ad by Carefor. In terms of the transformation of gender awareness and gender attitude, it's really a reflection of how the society is changing. Our societal attitudes are changing. In the society, all of us, we interact, and therefore we see these different trends and social attitude formation. We want to make sure that our marketing campaigns and strategies are uplifting. And these are some things that I have learned from our course, and we can continue to work in this area. First of all, in terms of the media and all the products, all the ads, and all the marketing strategies, we need to make an effort to make sure that they respect different gender diversity. They reflect the different temperaments of both genders. In many of the ads, the women's image projected in the ads are often very narrow. Women tend to be young, skinny, and pale, and if they do not meet that image, then they imply that they are not the mainstream, the most popular type of woman. Another area is gender equality or gender diversity.
Ms. Zhang also talked about the division of labor, how people must equally shoulder their responsibility in doing the house chores as women's economic status continue to rise. We also see that there is still a general lack of participation in house chores by men. So we hope that there will be more role models of men taking the initiative to do house chores, to also do their part. So I believe that these are all very important issues we must address. Thank you. Gender issues are, in essence, human rights issues. We have to see the differences between different human beings so that we could together create a more inclusive society. Women's objectification, the stereotypes of this uniform women's preferred or desirable appearance are all issues that we all must tackle and explore further. Thank you very much for the three of you for sharing with us your experience in attending this workshop. I have more questions. When you signed up for the workshop, you had the expectations for the workshop. And after attending the workshop, have these expectations been met? Who would like to answer this question first? What have you learned and how have you changed? Thank you. When I signed up for the workshop, I knew that I've always been very, very interested in gender issues. I have signed up for the newsletters of the Women's Foundation, Women's Rights Development Foundation. So I have been regularly receiving emails from the Women's Rights Foundation. And so when I heard about this workshop, I signed up immediately. I do not specialize or major in digital marketing. However, as had been mentioned, I learned about SEO, the Google Analytics, the many different instructors talking about digital marketing. So I started to think about and reflect on our own lives. For example, how do I combine my expertise with digital marketing so that I could actually apply all the different knowledge and skills in the projects that I carry out. As had been mentioned, women's power, empowerment, or gender equality, gender discrimination, also are issues we face every day. So when it comes to discrimination. People are already judging you. They're prejudging you. They already have a preconceived notion about you even before they have gotten to know you. For example, I would like to talk about, for example, women's menstruation has become a controversial issue. Is it something that could be talked about publicly? Is it appropriate or is it inappropriate, as some may have applied, to talk about women's periods in the general media? So I believe that a lot of startups, a lot of studios are also looking to this recent development, this new story, to reposition their own marketing campaigns. Thank you. Thank you for your input. I didn't know that you're a fan and you follow our Facebook page. Thank you for sharing with us your personal learning journey. Next, maybe we would like to invite Inli to share with us what she has learned. I am a middle-aged woman, so one of the aims for this workshop is to reskill and upskill older women. So a lot of people ask, how do we help older women re-enter the job market? I think it's important to look to teamwork, look to reskilling and upskilling opportunities. I also signed up for the Women's Foundation's e-newsletters. Therefore, as soon as I received the newsletter, I signed up for the workshop. I did not know much about it, but the title of the email, Micro Startups Through Online Marketing, it really drew my attention. During the pandemic, people under the lockdown, we were taking these courses online. I also learned how to use Google Meets and Zoom and other video conferencing meeting platforms. I didn't know how to use these platforms, but through the workshops, we were given very specific instructions, step-by-step instructions. Therefore, I learned to use these platforms so that I could attend these courses online. I was taking baby steps. However, eventually I got there. I wasn't quite sure whether I was able to finish and complete the entire course because, after all, I have never been quite tech-savvy, and I was thinking to myself that for someone who runs a women's development association like me, even somebody who is in a management position, can be quite hesitant to learn new technologies, let alone the grandmoms, the elderly women. For example, a lot of grandmoms often tell me that I don't need to learn these technologies because I don't know anything about them. I could never be a YouTuber because I only know how to fix meals in the kitchen. However, recently we have seen a lot of grandmoms, elderly women, uploading their own videos with the help of the younger generations from the family, and they have become famous YouTubers. So we could all find ways to overcome our obstacles. Thank you. Thank you, In Li. You are the chairperson of the Tainan Feiyan Development Association. Even somebody like you can be a little bit intimidated by the use of new technologies. But thank you for sharing with us your own personal journey. You also mentioned that some participants in this workshop are middle to high-level managers. Therefore, this is a great opportunity for them to be upskilled. Is this workshop open to men as well? Yes, it is. So I believe it would be even better to engage male participants because this workshop is not just about marketing, it's about empowerment, women's empowerment. So it would be great to have male participants in our future workshops as well. But maybe for the tech-savvy men out there, they may find it to be a little bit too easy. We don't know, but that's a step in the right direction. Thank you. I also would like to concur with your idea. I think we need to look at audience analysis, because I believe men will also be very, very interested in women empowerment. We need to create growth and development groups under the topic of women empowerment for men. So with the right target audience analysis, I'm sure that we will be able to attract them. I teach in Minxin University, and I offer courses in gender awareness and related gender perspectives. I did not previously specialize in marketing. However, the school has asked me to teach this course on gender perspectives in digital marketing. Currently, in every marketing campaign or in every marketing companies, you see that in the past, men used to be dominant in this industry, but today there is an increasing proportion of women in charge of marketing campaigns. So, for example, a lot of teenage girls, especially those in high schools, are obsessed with the stereotypes conveyed in the mainstream media. There is constantly advertisements about slimming products, weight loss products, skin whitening products, in addition to products that would help you increase your height. So we must realize that some of these were determined by your genetic composition. Just because you're tall doesn't mean that you're necessarily more beautiful. However, the mainstream beauty stereotypes are so pervasive that they are affecting a lot of the young women out there. And in addition, the video games today often feature women characters with exaggerated body parts, exaggerated disproportional facial features, to name a few. And this also is affecting people's perception of what is beautiful, of women's image. While I was young, I love to watch soap opera, especially about traditional Chinese kung fu stories. And back at the time, I remember watching these shows on TV. I was only a teenage girl. Even if the leading actresses back then had imperfect teeth, one of them particularly had crooked teeth. However, she still was very, very famous, was a very successful actress. However, today, being an actress, you have to look perfect. You wouldn't be allowed to have crooked teeth. So today, we see that there's a lot of misleading gender stereotypes in the mainstream media, and these all have to be addressed. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. I believe that we have reached the end of the first session of the panel discussion. I would like to turn the program over to our MC, Andy.
Tea break, or coffee break, or just a break for 10 minutes. Don't go away. We'll come back in 10 minutes for more wonderful discussion. See you later. ladies and gentlemen, back from our coffee break, tea break, 10 minutes break. It is now time for our panel discussion, general discussion of our workshop. This is the Power of Gender in Digital Marketing, Women's Economic Empowering New Media Digital Upskilling WEDU Workshop. Now on screen, you could see our moderator and our panelist. Introducing our moderator, she's the Vice President from the Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion and Development, and our moderator has her panelists with them. And introducing our panelists, they are Mr. Hubert Young, Executive Director from WEDU Corporation. We have also Research Fellow Wenran Zhang from the Commerce Development Research Institute, and we also have Jackie Chen, Manager from E-Commerce Platform. Now, ladies and gentlemen, turning over the floor to our moderator, the Vice President from the Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion and Development, Madame Huang Lingxiang. Sunny, all yours.
谢谢 Andy 哦。那我们接下来呢，进入我们的这个综合座谈。
Thank you, Andy. We will now begin the general discussion. Sitting on the panel are representatives from the industry, experts in gender perspectives integration in digital marketing. They have all participated in the development of the training package. So we are very happy to see that Mr. Yang, Ms. Chen, Ms. Chang are joining us in person, and Ms. Zhang is joining us online. So in the future, how can we better optimize the content of the workshop, the training package, and how do we train the trainers in the future? How do we further expand the scope of application? How do we work with different industries? How do we evaluate the need of this training package? How do we further align the content of the training package with the demands and needs of the industry? Thank you. These are all questions worth exploring. Through the pilot study, we have gained understanding of the participants' ability and competence before the workshop, during, as well as after the workshop. We have been following their learning journey. This training package is being applied and help them learn throughout the entire process. And we have been evaluating the outcome of the package. I think it's important to note that we started with a pre-test. We ran tests in order to identify the level of competencies of the participants before using the training package. And this has also helped us better position our course content to tailor our content to their needs. Many participants signed up first before they really looked into the real content or the various items contained in this workshop. Of course, from an organizer's perspective, we want as many participants being interested in our program as possible. However, we often find it regrettable to see that some people had signed up without even doing any research on their own to find out what this workshop or training is really all about. So another aspect of our evaluation of the participants before the workshop is to have a conversation with them to find out whether they really know clearly about the content of the workshop, whether we also explore the expectations that they have of the workshop. Some of the major difficulties of the instructors are as follows. For example, the students' competency levels are fairly low, and sometimes they don't have the basic skills in using basic digital marketing technologies. So it is it has become challenging to teach students of different levels within the same class. Therefore, the instructors have identified this as a major challenge. I think a pretest, this is where it comes into the picture to evaluate students' abilities so that before the workshop, so that we can further identify, we can identify their needs in order to tailor make our workshop to their demands and competency level. Take Taiwan's industry or workshop, for example. There is quite a few number of competent instructors, lecturers out there that could really teach students well about digital marketing. A lot of them have a lot of experience in marketing in general. However, those with gender awareness or those who carry out marketing campaigns with the aim to promote equal gender equality are rare. So during our workshop, we collaborated with gender equality experts, gender perspectives experts to combine the strength from two sides, the digital marketing side as well as the gender awareness promotion aspect, so that we could have razor-sharp focus in ensuring that our course content is not just about digital marketing, but about incorporating and breaking down gender stereotypes in digital marketing. So we came up with this method of incorporating expertise from different domains to enrich our content. And here in a few minutes, I will talk about the after workshop, post-workshop evaluation. Thank you, Mr. Chang. It could be difficult to find instructors who specialize both in gender awareness and digital marketing. In this process of designing and developing this workshop, however, we have reached out to many instructors and experts, and we have built up this talent pool of the teachers that we could engage and draw on so that we will have enough teachers for the workshops. Thank you. Now, I would like to share my perspectives. My name is Weiran Chang. I am a research fellow at the Commerce Development Research Institute. I am very pleased to be here. I have been engaged as a consultant for this workshop. This workshop first strikes me as having a very novel and very fresh title, which is to incorporate gender perspectives in new media marketing. And it covers a wide range of basic digital marketing topics. I have a few points to make. Number one, as Mr. Yang had mentioned, there are a lot of teachers out there. They could teach students about digital marketing. To differentiate this training package and its workshop, you would need to be more focused. Now, the next question will be how? Who are you targeting? Are you targeting fresh graduates? Are you targeting college graduates who have not had much experience in this aspect? Or are you targeting mid to high level managers who already have extensive experiences in digital marketing? And for this workshop, managers were targeted, and they already had quite a lot of experience in executing digital campaigns. So they would need more in-depth knowledge. However, if you're targeting a college graduate, middle-aged people in the workforce who are wishing to return back to the labor market, as had been mentioned, this workshop is only a pilot study, a pilot run. I hope that in the future we will be more focused in terms of the target audience of this workshop. Digital marketing is needed in all the different industries. Take the e-commerce industry, for example. Even within the e-commerce digital marketing trade, you have people with different jobs as well. For example, e-commerce operators all have their own websites. They are constantly optimizing their traffic, their ranking. They're always looking into keywords, Google Analytics, working with influencers, celebrities, famous YouTubers, etc. These are what they do on a daily basis, and these are the very commonly used methods by the local e-commerce operators in Taiwan. But if today you're working with larger sales platforms, retail online sales platforms such as PC Home or Momo, you would, because you're putting your products on a third-party platform, you're not going to be able to access its Google Analytics statistics. However, if you go overseas, you're listing your products on, for example, like a Japanese sales platform, and you might, for example, in some of these platforms, you are allowed to have your own landing page, and you're given statistics, facts, and numbers regarding the back-end management. If you go to Taobao or Tmall, they're even offering you more insights, analytics. So if you go to Amazon, it is another story. You do not get as many numbers and insights, but you can maybe use your own tools to mine the data on the Amazon platform. So it really comes down to which platforms that you list your products on.
So even just look at the ecosystem of the e-commerce, different skills are required. If we are focusing on the e-commerce area, then these participants must have a very comprehensive of the entire e-commerce landscape. There are different skills required: internet marketing, digital marketing, operational skills, competencies. There are all kinds of needs. So we map that out. We also have these assessments to understand their level of understanding. Maybe this talent graduated with a marketing degree. He or she will have some understanding. They look at the map that we outlined. They can identify the skills that they already have and the skills that are missing. With this approach, we can have a better understanding of the motivation behind these students. The students will know why they're learning certain subjects or certain fields of studies. So I think it's important that we focus on the subtopics under digital marketing. E-commerce and physical stores both need to engage in digital marketing. But for the physical stores, they have OMO, online, offline integration. Digital marketing skills are applied differently in e-commerce and in physical stores. So that's why I think we should have a more focused topic, something that is even more specific than digital marketing. The second aspect, integrating gender awareness. For all of these participants, if they are women and we want to empower them, we want to enhance their digital skills. Based on my own experience, I think most of the e-commerce professionals, the majority of them are women. In internet marketing, the majority are women. So who are the target audience who especially like to gain skills in this area? I think it's important that we think further about the target audience. The majority of them are women already. So who are we targeting at? And what kind of skills would we like to train them on? I also see that there are three main sections in the courses: strategies, business identification, strategy development, and also outcome analysis. In the first area, some examples were given. For example, traditionally in developing marketing strategies, they are not taking any gender specific approach. They might be targeting men more than women. So if you would like to market like cars or like sports apparel to women, there's different angles to take. That I can understand. But in addition to using gender as an analytic element, I'm not sure about how gender can be better integrated into marketing strategies. So my advice, my suggestion is that we should delve deeper into some best practices or successful cases in digital marketing strategies or in some kind of analysis. By incorporating the gender perspective, they have been able to gain certain success. So maybe we can try to identify those case studies, and we develop these case studies into this very comprehensive material. If it's a good case study, then we can discuss it in course for 3 hours, for 6 hours. We can also have lecturers who can be lecturing on the case study. The practitioners can also be the lecturer of the case study. Through these case studies, I think the participants can gain a clear understanding of how the theories can be put into practice. For example, if I want to sell a car to a female consumer, we can think about how that could actually be achieved. We can identify certain new markets in the automobile market, and we can therefore then develop new marketing strategies, and we achieve some kind of business success. So by building up such a case study, by talking and discussing about the case study, we are not imposing the need of gender awareness or gender sensitivity on our consumers. It's not a one direction lecture. Through discussion, through the case studies, the participants can gradually gain a deeper understanding based on their peer discussions and based on the experience learned from the case study. So maybe this is one direction. We develop a solid case study or solid case studies. The best arrangement will be inviting the business of that case study to serve as the lecturer. I think through these case studies, we can better highlight the importance of gender awareness. We can make it into a total package in conveying a very comprehensive message of gender in digital marketing. And I think with this approach, we can also achieve better learning outcomes. We'd like to thank researcher Zhang, research fellow Zhang, for a very concrete suggestion. Depending on the different target audience, we can also design the courses differently. So it's important that we specify the target audience of our course. Secondly, you mentioned about women being the majority in digital marketing. Here, if we have the goal of women empowerment, how can we clearly identify the impact of this course on women? We need to think deeper into this, and I'm very grateful that you point this out. Thirdly, you talked about the courses, the case studies, the successful examples are very important for us to see how the inclusion of gender awareness can better generate economic outcomes, and we need to make that case. Next, we'd like to invite Yu Huan. a manager of the e-commerce platform. In terms of talent and professional, I understand that the course covers different areas. So both myself and Zhang, maybe we are approaching this from two different angles. I am taking the more gender-oriented perspective. I have a background in gender studies. And I have a new position in an e-commerce platform. So maybe we can approach the same issue from different perspectives. We talked about decision making, we talked about project implementation, we talked about the rising number of women. However, I would like to remind all of you, when we look at the most executive level, the majority of the executives in this area are men. So how do we make sure that many of these decisions or these final decisions could be implemented? I think this is something that we should pay closer attention to. I have a gender studies background. I'm also going to serve as one of the lecturers for the following course. I think in terms of gender awareness and gender equality, we should look at it from a higher level. For example, the perspectives of social responsibility and sustainable development goals. We talk about how gender equality is tied to the entire corporate image, the corporate social responsibility image. It's important we make a stronger case. It's important to have gender awareness, and we should broaden the discussion. We should elevate the discussion. This is something that I really hope to convey. Some people criticize that gender equality is a false issue. But actually, this is something real, and this is something very important. In UN Women, they have an unstereotype alliance. They work with e-commerce, they work with internet businesses, they work with ad companies. Together, they organized this really huge alliance with major players. Through this alliance, they hope to eliminate the gender stereotypes that are prevalent in the ad industry. I think this is important. This is a very visible international trend. So we should also, through this training, elevate our influence in the Asia Pacific area. We talked about Google Analytics. We talked about big data analysis. There are challenges in incorporating gender perspectives, but I've also seen related reports. We can conduct social media analysis. Data is neutral, but your analysis could take certain perspectives. We can analyze the data with a larger scope, and that's why taking a gender perspective is so meaningful. We talked about the pretest. I think having a pretest is a great arrangement. I looked at all the different participants. I think as a lecturer, it's difficult to give a very general course based on the diversity of the participants. In the list of all the attendees, they have very different background. Some are new graduates, but some are owners of companies. So there's a huge gap among them. And that's why maybe we should start from the gender perspective. We first teach about the general gender concept as well as some general marketing ideas. But in the advanced course, we can teach more sophisticated digital marketing strategies and concepts, and also bring in practices related to gender perspectives. So this is what I'm planning to do in my course. I have prepared a number of best practices and case studies from businesses. I think with these very practical case studies, we as lecturers can better help our attendees understand the topics and also gain a more practical perspective. In terms of the gender distribution, we talked about how the majority of the workers in digital marketing are women. But we should also make the case that the participation of men also counts. In digital marketing, in gender, it's not just about the two genders of male and female. We look at the international trends, a lot of emphasis is put on gender diversity. So, can we look at gender issues from a more broader scope? We look at these issues more strategically. We include many of the decision makers. We include and invite many of the corporate executives. So with this design, we can make sure that gender and digital marketing are better integrated at different levels of a company. Thank you, Jackie. I think you are the expert, the interdisciplinary expert that we are looking for. You have your background both in gender studies and also now in e-commerce. You have shared with us your experience of many years. You talked about the glass ceiling. You talked about co-decision making. You talked about many realities facing businesses. More broadly, you talked about ESG or the social or the sustainable development goals, and we really appreciate your advice. Next, we would like to invite our panelist, Zhang Wenzhen. She's a consultant of Ruizhe Management Consultant. Hi, I'm a consultant at Ruizhe Management Consultant. First, I would like to thank the organizer for your invitation. Unfortunately, I have a number of meetings today, so I can only join you online. Thank you for your understanding. This online-offline meeting resonates with our topic today. During the pandemic this year, many workers experienced work from home. Many companies also utilized internet technologies in facilitating these new working models. Many workers need to take care of family members at home. Some people lack the technologies or the skills to meet these new trends. Here in Taiwan, in terms of regulations, we are seeing a lot of advancements. We are seeing the enactment of the occupational safety and health laws as well as workplace discrimination laws. Many HRs and businesses, they are providing new trainings to the workers. We look at these different issues. We want to better cultivate talents in digital marketing in different businesses. These are all very important advancements for companies. I look at this course curriculum. I would like to share my perspective as a human resource profession in a company. First of all, in terms of talent selection, I look at the course curriculum. I think there are three important TAs that we need to think about. The first is who are the target students or the target participants? My colleagues in this panel also brought upon this issue. We look at the attendees. There is indeed a pretest. But I don't see a clear selection mechanism. How do we evaluate and assess whether the students are qualified or suitable in taking the course? We can also see that many of these courses focus on practical expertise. So for the TAs, we are looking at those with digital marketing skills or background. But as my colleagues in this panel mentioned, many of these attendees, they have different expertise, they have different years of experience. So maybe we should specify clear about the TAs. We also have executives in our courses. We want to make sure that we cover employees of different levels so that they can influence the businesses at different levels. Some have more experience in digital marketing, some have less. Maybe depending on the level of their experience, they can take part in the basic or the advanced courses. Another selection criteria is their English skills. But how do we recognize their English capabilities? What are the criteria that we use? Are we looking at certain exam or certain certification? I think it's important that we specify the criteria in selecting the participants so the potential participants know very clearly about whether the courses are suitable to them or not. The other selection has to do with the lectures, the selection of the teachers of the lectures. I did not participate in the selection process, but based on my understanding of this curriculum, I will make the following observation. Many of these lecturers, they might not have the expertise, but those who have the expertise might not be able to teach. So it is hard to find the right balance. Usually in businesses, when we look for external lecturers, we want to make sure that they are able to satisfy our expectation of the courses. There are a number of ways we can evaluate the suitability. We look at their CVs, we look at the professional skills, we look at the teaching experience. In addition, we also look into the videos or we invite the lecturer to come over to have an interview or to teach in advance so that we can have a better understanding of how the lecturer can deliver the teaching effectiveness. I'm not sure about the selection process of the lectures of this curriculum, but this is something that we can also look into to make our course more comprehensive. The third aspect is selection from the business's perspective. Most of the businesses in Taiwan are SMEs. When we look at the occupational competencies, we should better understand the environment of the SMEs. Who are the ones doing digital marketing in SMEs? Maybe we can prioritize certain businesses. Businesses who already have digital marketing experience can take part in our courses. The other aspect is talent, education, and training. Here we look at the content of the curriculum. We have these very clear course objectives. We need to examine the design of the course. I see in the course content about the outline of the course and the objectives of the course. We have these training objectives, the training purposes, and also the content, the occupational competencies. So we see that the courses, the curriculum covers a lot of different subject areas. We look at the businesses. We hope this curriculum can bridge the divide, can meet the needs of the businesses. We hope the participants can also have their expectations met. These are all very important aspects. And this goes down to the selection of the lecturer. Maybe in the long run, we can certify certain seed lecturers to make sure that we can cultivate a group of seed lecturers who are very familiar with the objectives of this course. For the KSA, for the occupational competencies, we see there is K, knowledge, there's also the skill S, but the application part is somehow weaker. So I think it's important that we look at these different job profiles. We take a more comprehensive understanding of all the requirements of these different skills, of these different jobs. This is also a selection criteria that we can provide for businesses. In the future, I think this is something of great potential. This is like a talent pool for businesses. When they are looking for talent in this area, they can approach this curriculum for the talent that they need. The last aspect is retaining talent and applying their learnings to meet the needs of businesses. It is important that we assess the learning and the teaching outcomes. In terms of knowledge learning, we have exams and tests. In terms of skills assessment, we have certain evaluation. However, how can we know that they are able to apply the knowledge and skills in their work? It is important that after the courses, we continue to monitor and track the progresses to make sure that our participants have actually applied what they learned in our curriculum in their businesses. We can also understand what's missing in our curriculum. These are all findings that will help us to improve our curriculum.
So that the industry's demands are met. In the long run, when the industry or corporations are in need of talents, they will contact us so that we could move from simply being a workshop to become an organization that is actively involved in promoting employability. Over time, the talents we cultivate could enter the job market, creating a virtuous cycle of upskilling. So, we have talked about the training, education, selection, and retention of the labor force. I hope you have found my presentation to be helpful. Ms. Chang, thank you for raising a very important point, which is the evaluation aspect of the course. How do we talk with different stakeholders, working with them, and evaluate the workshop? I would like to share some of my thoughts. In fact, as the man on the panel, I am happy to bring a bit balance to the gender distribution in today's panel. The comments that have been made are very succinct and to the point. During the development of the training program, we have talked with different stakeholders in order to evaluate the effectiveness of the workshop, from the front-end marketing to sales to finding the right instructors, to after-sales services provided to the participants. There are very important coordination points in terms of marketing of this workshop. In order to make the workshop more known to a wider range of audiences, we will have to focus on a wider range of skills, SEO, media, marketing, social media marketing, optimization of landing page, remarketing, optimizing EDMs, and content cultivation, content optimization, long-term content development to engage more audience. So these marketing aspects would then can be supplemented with case studies, successful case testimonials. So we realized that it was important for us to advertise our course as well. So and the sales aspect is also quite important. For example, when somebody calls to find out more about the course, the salesperson would then have to provide the right information to the right person so the person gets the information necessary to make the purchasing decision about the workshop. And that is not enough. We will also need to have the right instructors. and the right curriculum design. I talked about having pretest to select the right students, participants for the workshop. We also need to consider the teaching environment, whether the courses will be delivered in person or online. We also, in terms of digital marketing, we also would like to bring in the idea of statistics for case studies so that the instructors and lecturers will be able to follow the skills map to tell everybody we are here, these are the numbers, this is where we are now and where we're going from here. Therefore, we can use Line, Facebook, and EDM, all these different methods to stay in contact and deliver our services to the workshop participants. So in terms of going from stakeholder collaboration to develop the course content to communicating, attracting participants, we have learned the following lessons. And I think this echoes the points that have already been raised. You need to have the right participants, the right fit, the right instructors. You need to have the appropriate contents, optimize the contents, and it is delivered in the right environment. And through the right course design, curriculum design, you should be able to encourage the students to come up with their own action plan in terms of putting the skills they have learned into practice, and then the action plan is then turned into the final presentations delivered by the students so that they could have an overall review on what they have learned and be able to summarize the very important key takeaways of this workshop. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have talked about the course content, the instructors, the participants, to name a few of this workshop.
All our panelists are back, okay? Two of our panelists from this previous session before the break are now back. So ladies and gentlemen, let us now take a group photo, okay? We have all the panelists. Please, all of our panelists, take off your face mask. 我们暂时拿掉口罩，因为台湾 CDC 说现在室内合照的时候是可以拿掉口罩。So let's have a wonderful smile looking at the camera. The camera with the red light, okay? First photo, smile, a wonderful smile, because today we have a wonderful workshop all together, okay? Thank you. That is your wonderful smile, okay? Let's do thumbs up. 因为我们今天的 workshop 非常的精彩，来，我们比个赞。Please, our online panelists. Yes, that's very good. Okay, so the power of gender in digital marketing, women's economic empowering, new media digital upskilling workshop. 赞 Thank you. 谢谢各位. Thank you very much. Okay, our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. For 4 days, this is our 4th day, this is our workshop, and we have a wonderful closing ceremony. Thank you very much. Thank you. you.